What is the only value of x which satisfies this equation? Okay, let's take the square root of both sides, and when I do, I get this, and then that one will give me no actual solution. It just gives me that this equals that, which obviously is invalid. Okay, no problem. Let's retry this again. Let's take the square root of both sides, but this time I'll take the positive here, and I'll take the negative on the other side. Let's see if that helps. So this just is the same, but this part becomes minus x minus 2005. That becomes 2x is equal to 0, and then x is 0. So x equals 0 is the only value. In convex quadrilateral ABCD, the area of ABC is 3, CDA is 4, DAB is 5. What is the area of BCD? Okay, so let's draw a possible convex quadrilateral, whatever that is. So we have A, B, C, and D, and then chop it in half, and then they're saying ABC, this guy is 3, CDA is 4. So the total area of that is 7, obviously. And then let's draw this again, and this time, again, we'll chop it in half, but the other way, so this way. And they gave me that DAB is 5, so DAB, so this guy is 5, and then they're saying, what's BCD? Okay, well, BCD, let's say it's x, I don't know, but 5 plus x is equal to the total, so that means x is 2. So the area of BCD is 2. At the right, a grid of 25 points is shown. The distance between adjacent horizontal points and between adjacent vertical points is 1. Two segments of length 5 have been drawn. Altogether, how many different pairs of these points are exactly 5 units apart? Okay, well, let's see. So those two lines that you see are 5 in length, okay? And you can clearly tell that from the Pythagorean triple that this side here is 3, and this side over here is 4. And as you guys know, 3 squared plus 4 squared is equal to 5 squared. So in this diagram, the pairs would be this and this. Those pairs of points are exactly 5 units apart. And again, the one in the corner plus this guy are 5 units apart. So we have 2 pairs so far that are 5 units apart. Now I'll use a different color to illustrate 2 more pairs. So this guy, and which ones? I would say probably this one and this one. So similarly, I don't want to draw on the lines, it'll make it too complicated, but if we were to draw a line between the one in the corner and these 2 other guys, you'd get 2 additional pairs that are 5 units apart. And in exactly the same way. There, if you can calculate the length with the sides, which would be 3 and 4. Okay, so well, we can keep going here. Let's use a different color. We can use this corner and these 2 pairs. Again, if you drew lines from those 2, from the corner to each of those other 2 guys, you get 2 additional pairs that create lines that are 5 units apart. And finally, let's see what other color I can use. The yellow. These 2 would again be pairs that you could create that would be 5 units apart. So we've got a whole bunch of pairs here, and when you add them all up, you'll get a total of 8. 8 is the answer to that question. How many positive 2-digit numbers have the square of an integer as the product of their digits? So we have an integer, and those are the 2 letters that I'll use to represent the digits. And they're saying that if we took those 2 numbers and multiplied them, it would be some perfect square. So that is basically the question. So what first we have to do is find out the candidates. 0 squared, 1 squared, and so on. 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared. And I think obviously the longest, or the largest I should say, would be 9 squared. And obviously this is 0, 1, 2, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, and 81. Okay, so let's work with these one at a time and let's see what we get. So for the first one, if a times b is equal to 0, then what does that mean? Well, it means that b is equal to 0, and a can be anything from 1 till 9. So we have a total of 9 possible ways of doing that. You can't make a 0 because it has to be a 2-digit number. Okay, keep going here. If we get 1, so this time a times b is 1, and the only way to do that is if a is 1 and b is 1. So that's one way. And that number, of course, would be 11, just in case you're wondering. And then these ones would be 10 all the way till 90, I guess. The numbers. Okay, let's keep going here. If it's 4, that means a times b is 4. And how many ways of doing that? Well, you can have 14, 41, or 22. Those numbers would do it. So there's 3 ways of doing that. And that's sort of the pattern we're kind of doing here. So let's see, for a times b to equal 9, how would we do that? 3 times 3? 91 and 19. So you have another 3 there. 16. A times b is 16. 44, obviously. Any other way of getting that? Oh yeah, 2 and 8. 28 and 82. That'll do it. That's another 3. 25, I think that's the only way of doing that is just the 5 times 5, which is the most obvious one. So there's only one way of doing that. 36. The obvious one is 66. And I think 4 and 9 would also do it. Yeah, because 4 times 9 is 36. So we got 3 there. And then these ones, I think just the obvious one are the only ways of doing that. So for each of these, we get 1, 1, and 1. So this, add these up. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 10, 13, 16, 17, and 9 is 26. So 26 total is the answer to this question. For what rational number c do the equations have a common solution? So we have x to the power 3 plus cx squared plus 3 is 0. And we have x squared plus cx plus 1 is 0. Okay, so let's multiply through by x here. And that will give me x to the power 3 plus cx squared plus x is 0. Okay, so this equation 1 and this equation, well, I call this equation 1 and this equation 2. They were, now I've made them very similar. So from this one, x to the power 3 plus cx squared is equal to minus 3. And from this one, x to the power 3 plus cx squared is equal to minus x, right? So that means this and this are the same, so this and this must be the same. So that means minus x is equal to minus 3, which basically means that x is equal to 3. Okay, that's great, but they want us to find c. No problem, sub this back into either one of these. Let's sub it back into this guy. So if I do, it'll be 3 squared plus 3 times x plus 1 is 0. So that means 9 plus 3x plus 1 is 0. That means 3x is equal to minus 10, which means that x is equal to minus 10 over 3. Or sorry about that. This should have been a c. Sorry. This guy should have been a c here. It's a good thing I caught that. Sorry, that should have been a c. So c is what we're looking for, minus 10 over 3. As my younger brother shouted out 4 consecutive integers, I divided each by my age, an integer, then added all 4 remainders to get 40, as he shouted out. For other consecutive integers, I divided each by his age, a different integer, added all 4 remainders, and again got 40. What is the sum of our ages? Okay, so for the first scenario, we have x, let the x be the integers, so x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3, those are the 4 consecutive integers, and let n be my age. So we have to then divide by n, and then see what the remainders are. And then the remainders, the sum of the remainders is 40. And then the second scenario is basically very similar, but we have 4 other consecutive integers. So I'll use y this time. And this time we're dividing by the brother's age. We'll call that m. Is that right? Yeah. So his age. And the brother is younger, so m is less than n. And then we are again dividing by that. And then again, the remainders, sum of the remainders is equal to 40. Okay, so that's basically the setup of the question. Okay, so this question I think is a really just trial and error. And I'll let you go through that trial and error. And when you do, you find the following. In the first scenario, if you let x equal 37 and n equal 38, the remainders will be as follows. So you'll have 37 for this guy, 0 for this one, 1 and 2 for the next ones. So the sum of these is 40. That satisfies this. So n is 38, so that one works. And then for the next scenario, this guy, if you let x equal to 19 and m equal to 21, then the remainders this time, let's see what we get for the remainders. We get, for this one, we get 19. For this, I believe we get 20. That would give me a remainder of 0, and this would give me a remainder of 1. So the sum is 40. So that works out again. So now we have m and n, so therefore the sum, which is what they're looking for, the sum of our ages would be m plus n. So m plus n is 21 plus 38, which is 59.